Hello students, today I shall discuss about the full rectifier with capacitor input filter. Here these are the two diodes, diode D1 and here it is the diode D2. Two diodes are connected at the secondary of the transformers, and here a center tap of the transformer it is grounded, and at the load a capacitance is used as a filter and a load resistance it is connected in parallel with this capacitance, and at this point you will be getting the output voltage. Center tap of the transformer is also grounded, and these capacitor resistances are also grounded. One of the secondary terminal it is connected to diode D1 and another terminal it is also connected to diode D2. Now during the positive half cycle of the voltage at the secondary of the transformer, the diode D1 is forward biased. During the positive half cycle, this diode D1 it is forward biased and it is short circuited, so that the capacitor C it charges. During positive half cycle, D1 is forward biased, so that this D2 it is reverse biased, and the capacitor C it charges to the peak value of the voltage Vm up to at point A. Here the during positive half cycle D1 is forward biased, so that here since it is a closed path, that will forms a closed path, so that this capacitor C it is charging up to the peak value of the input voltage Vm at point A at the time interval pi by 2. Now at the time interval pi by 2, the voltage across capacitor is Vm. The voltage across the capacitor is equal to the Vm. The diode D1 is reverse biased. Diode D1 is reverse biased because the voltage at the capacitor is plus Vm. Now voltage at the anode of the diode D1 it is less, because here it is less than peak voltage. Voltage at the anode of the diode D1 is less as compared to the voltage at the cathode of the diode D1, so that is reverse biased capacitor C, because it is reverse biased. Why it is reverse biased? Here it is plus Vm, but at the anode of the diode it is less than the peak voltage, so that the voltage at the anode is less as compared to the cathode. Diode D1 it is reverse biased and it is open circuited, and that is the open circuited because D2 is already reverse biased during the positive half cycles. Since the diode D1 after the peak voltage the D1 is also reverse biased, then the whatever the charge which is stored in this capacitor, the capacitor C it is the discharges, capacitor C it is discharges through the load resistance up to point B. Capacitor C it is discharging through the load resistance up to the point B. Here this one it is the point B. Up to this point the capacitor C it is discharges through the load resistance, because there will not be any path for the capacitance to charge. There will not be any path for the capacitance to charge through that input, because during these intervals A to B, during the intervals from A to B, D2 is also reverse biased, D1 is also reverse biased, so that there will not be any path for the capacitance to charge through the input. At that instant the capacitor it is the charge stored in the capacitance it is goes on decreasing and it is discharges through the load resistance. Here that the capacitor it is discharges up to the point B. Here this one it is the point B at which up to which the capacitance it discharges. During the negative half cycle, the diode due to is forward biased at capacitor forward biased capacitor C charges to the peak value of the voltage up to from point B to point C. Up to from point B to point C. During the negative half cycle, the diode D is forward biased. Capacitor C charges to the peak value of the voltage up to from point B to point C. At point C, diode D2 is reverse biased. Here, one thing that is to be noted is that this one it is the half wave, that is the rectified output of the full wave rectifier when the diode D2 is forward biased. Because when diode D1 is forward biased, you will be getting the rectified output voltage from 0 to pi. And D2 is forward biased, you will be getting the rectified output voltage from pi to 2 pi. Now, during negative half cycle, anyway that diode D2 is forward biased. But the voltage at the capacitor, this capacitor here, it is discharging up to point B, up to the point B. After that, the voltage at the anode of the diode D2 at point B, the voltage at the anode of this diode D2 is more than the cathode, because the capacitor it is discharged. So that here the this diode D2 forward biased, and that diode D2 is forward biased, so that the capacitor it charges to the peak value of the voltage, because this capacitor it starts to charge through the peak voltage, input voltage. Capacitor now charges to the peak value of the input voltage, because here the capacitor it is connected to the input, so that it forms a closed path, and capacitor it is goes on the charging. Because it charges through the input voltage, it forms a closed path, because D2 is forward biased at point B, and capacitor it charges to up to the peak voltage from point B to C. Voltage charges to the peak value of the voltage up to from point B to point C, charges to the peak value of the voltage up to from point B to point C. At point C, again the duty is reverse biased, so that because why that due to it is the reverse biased, here the capacitor it is charged to peak voltage with the polarities as shown in the figure, so that after that point C, the voltage at the anode of this diode it is decreases, but the voltage at the capacitor it is equal to the peak voltage, so that the voltage at the cathode of the diode is more as compared to the anode. So this diode it is again it is reverse biased at point C, and there will not be any connection of this capacitor to the input or to the source, because D1 is reverse biased during negative half cycles, and at point C the D2 is also reverse biased, so that the capacitor stops charging, because there will not be any closed path between the input and the capacitors for the capacitors to charge through the input. So this capacitor now it is discharges through the load resistance. Capacitor now starts discharging through the load resistance. At point C, diode D2 is reverse biased. Capacitor discharges up to point D. At point D, D1 is forward biased, so that the capacitor charges again to the peak value of the voltage, so that here there is a continuous charging and discharging of the capacitors. Now approximations of the ripple voltage. Charging time of capacitor is less as compared to the discharging time of the capacitors, because here the charging time of the capacitor it is almost the less. Here to here it is the charging time of the capacitors, but it is discharges slowly through the large time constant of the circuit, that is capacitors C and RL, that results in a large time constant. So the capacitor discharges slowly through the load resistance. Capacitor discharges slowly through the load resistance. When the diodes are on, then the capacitor charges to the peak voltage. Only when the diodes are on, the capacitor is charging to the peak voltage, because here when during positive half cycle the D1 is forward biased, so that capacitor it charges, and when the D2 is forward biased, then also capacitor charges to the peak voltage. When capacitor is discharging, both the diodes are off. When capacitor is discharging, both the diodes are off. The ripple voltage of the capacitor can be approximated to a triangular waveform. Here, that is the ripple voltage of the capacitors. Here to here it is the ripple voltage of the capacitors. This one time T1 it is the charging time of the capacitors, and T2 it is the discharging time of the capacitors, and here to here it is the ripple voltage of the capacitors. Here to here it is the ripple voltage of the capacitors. Charging time T1, discharging time that is the time T2. The ripple voltage of the capacitor can be approximated to a triangular waveform. The RMS value of the triangular waveform is Vrms is equal to Vr upon 2 root 3, because here the ripple voltage of the capacitor can be approximated to a triangular waveforms. This one, whatever the charging and discharging voltage of the capacitor it can be approximated to a triangular waveforms because it looks like a triangular waveforms here to here, so that it can be approximated to a triangular. The RMS value of the triangular waveform is Vrms if the peak voltage of that triangular waveform is Vr. If that the peak voltage of that triangular waveform is Vr, that is the ripple voltage. From that RMS value of the that triangular waveform can be determined as Vr upon 2 root 3. Vr is equal to ripple voltage, T1 that is charging time of capacitors, T2 that is discharging time of the capacitors. Now T1 plus T2 is equal to T by 2. Here T is the time period of the AC input signal. Since T1 that is the charging time of the capacitor is less than discharging time, so that T2 is equal to the T by 2. During the time T2, charge lost in the capacitor C is, because during time T2 the capacitor is discharging through that load resistance, so that the charge while discharging through the load, there is a loss of charge in the capacitors. The charge loss in the capacitor, it is denoted as Q is equal to CVR. And we also know that the rate of change of charge stored in the capacitor is equal to the current through that capacitors, so that the rate of change of charge stored in that capacitor is equal to current. That is the rate of change of charge stored in the capacitor during time T2 is I is equal to dq upon dt. Now Q is equal to integral 0 to T2 I dc dt, because this one I dc, it is the load current. The charge stored in the capacitor is, that is the load current into time T2, IDC into T2. From equations 1 and 2, CVR is equal to IDC into T2, because this current, it is equal to the average current or the DC output current, and T2 it is the time interval at which that capacitor it is discharging. Q is equal to IDC into T2. From equations 1 and 2, CVR is equal to IDC T2, but T2 is equal to T by 2. CVR is equal to IDC T upon 2. Ripple voltage is equal to IDC upon 2FC. Ripple voltage VR is equal to IDC upon 2FC. So that from that the RMS value of the voltage is equal to VR upon 2 root 3 is equal to IDC upon 4 root 3 FC. But IDC is equal to EDC upon the load resistance. From that the RMS value of the voltage is equal to EDC upon 4 root 3 FC RL. But here, that is the average voltage can also be determined from EDC EM minus VR upon 2, ripple peak to peak ripple voltage upon 2. Ripple factor is equal to RMS value of the voltage upon the DC voltage. RMS value of the voltage upon that DC voltage, it is gives the ripple factor. Here we have determined the RMS value of the the ripple voltage. RMS value of that ripple voltage we have determined, it is equal to the EDC upon 4 root 3 FCRL upon EDC. So that from that the ripple factor of a full wave rectifier with capacitor input filter is equal to 1 upon 4 root 3 FCRL. Here the F is the input voltage, that is a line voltage which is applied at the primary of the transformers. Capacitor C it is a filter capacitor which is connected at the load side to remove the ripples, and here the load resistance. One thing that is to be noted here is that here, as the value of this capacitor and the load resistance is large, if the values of these two are large, the ripple factor it is decreases. It indicates that here the capacitor it is discharging slowly through the load resistance. That is as the discharging time of the capacitor increases, that is possible from increasing this value of this capacitor and the load resistance, so that it indicates the ripples in the output voltage is also reduced. There is a significant reduction in the ripples at the output if the magnitude of this load resistance and the capacitance is large, so that the ripples in the output can be reduced by using, that is, the ripple factor. As the ripple factor it is decreases, so that is the advantage of the using a filters in the rectifier circuits. Now we shall consider the one of the numericals on the a Fourier that is on a Fourier rectifier with capacitor input filters. A Fourier rectifier is operated from a 50 Hz supply with the 120 volts RMS. It is connected to a load drawing 50 milliamperes current and using 100 microfarad filter capacitors. Calculate the DC output voltage and the RMS value of the ripple voltage. Also calculate the ripple factor. Here the data given is that at the primary of the transformer a line voltage of 120 volts at 50 Hz is applied. That is, a line voltage of 120 volts and 50 Hz is applied at the primary of the transformers. That is, the current which is drawn by the load is equal to 50 milliamperes, and a filter capacitor C is equal to 100 microfarad is connected at the loads. Now we have to determine what is the average output voltage, the RMS value of the output voltage, and the ripple factors. Now we know that the DC output voltage or the average voltage at the output of a Fourier rectifier can be determined with capacitor Fourier rectifier with capacitor filter. ADC is equal to peak voltage minus ripple voltage upon 2, Vm minus Vr upon 2. Here Vm is equal to root 2 Vs. Vs it is given 120 volts, so that 1 root 2 into 169.70 volts, that is the peak value of the voltage at the secondary of the transformers. Now already we have determined the ripple voltage. The peak value of that ripple voltage depends upon the, that is, IDC upon 2FC. Here IDC it is the DC output current, that is the average current which is flowing at the output of the rectifiers. IDC upon 2FC is equal to 50 into 10 raised to minus 3, 100 and 10 raised to minus 6. From that the peak value of the ripple voltage is equal to 10 raised to minus 6 is equal to 5 volts. That is the peak value of the ripple voltage at the capacitor filters. Peak value of the ripple voltage it will be getting the output of a Fourier rectifier with capacitor filters. Now RMS value of that ripple voltage. RMS value of the ripple voltage can be determined as peak value of the ripple voltage upon 2 root 3 is equal to 0.2 root 3 1.44. From that already you know that EDC is equal to Vm minus half of the peak value of the ripple voltage Vm minus Vr upon 2 5.0. EDC is equal to 167.20 volts. That is the average voltage or the DC output voltage for a full wave rectifier with the capacitor input filters. Now the ripple factor, it is the ratio of the RMS value of the voltage upon the DC output voltage RMS 1.44 1.20. From that the ripple factor, it is equal to 0.0086. That is the ripple factor of a full wave rectifier with the given parameters, that is by using a 100 microfarad capacitors. So that here the how we shall determine the ripple factor for a full wave rectifiers using the capacitor input filters.